The first lie landed with a coat on my chair and a bright smile. "We're so proud of our property." I smiled back and slid my purse under the table. The dining room smelled like roasted onions and lemon cleaner. Coats piled on the back of chairs. A cousin's child tapped a spoon on a glass until her father took it. It was a meet and greet before a Sunday lunch. My son's wife had invited her parents, her brother, an aunt who likes a stage, and 2 neighbors who had heard so much. Her mother touched my sleeve. "You must come see it," she said. "Our little place by the water. We poured our hearts into it. You'll love the deck. We changed the whole deed over last year." I nodded. "How nice," I said. I tucked a loose napkin under the bread basket so the rolls wouldn't dry out. I kept my voice soft. I kept my face open. I let them talk. It costs nothing to let talk roll past when you already know the file. Small cuts came wrapped as kindness. "Isn't it amazing," the aunt said, spreading butter with a wide gesture, "how property finds the right hands? We scraped, we saved, we made it happen. Some people just don't get how much planning that takes." She glanced at my shoes. "I wear the same pair to everything because they do not hurt me." "Planning," I said. "It helps." The brother leaned in and made it simple the way boys do when they want to be men. "We locked down the title last fall," he said. "All clean, no liens. Our name across the deed, sealed, solid." He thumped the table as if the table needed proof. "Solid is good," I said. I moved the salt to the edge so the child couldn't tip it. They told deck stories and paint stories and a story about a neighbor's dog. They told a story about taxes. "Can you believe how much the bill jumped this year?" The mother said, thinly smiling. "We paid it, of course. You have to keep up when you own." "Of course," I said. "The bill comes to the owner of record." I said it like I was repeating a recipe. "Property tax bills go to the name on file. That is the line. You can write it in pencil without changing how it works." I carried the salad bowl out and set it beside the roast. My daughter-in-law squeezed my hand. "Thank you for helping," she said. She came from a family that likes a good show. She married a son who likes a quiet room. I love her. I also know the way rooms tilt when status sits down before facts do. They poured a friendly wine. The father told a number. "We bought at the perfect time," he said. "Only $220,000. Now it's worth at least $300. We hold the deed outright." He wiped a cheerful line of gravy from his plate with a piece of bread. "We never put a property in anyone else's name. Never have. We're not fools." I folded a napkin on my lap and thought about paper. A week after my husband died, a friend who works in title sat at my kitchen table with a folder and a pen that didn't scratch. "Think about something small," she said. "Somewhere you want to go for 3 days at a time. Somewhere with windows." I had a little life insurance, a small pension, and a mind that needed a thing to keep it honest. We looked at listings. We took a slow drive. We found a tired cottage near a lake that remembers wind. The price was plain, $198,000. The bones were good. The roof was patient. I bought it quietly. My son had just married. I didn't want a gift to become a handcuff or a wedge. I didn't want to be a stage. I wanted a porch. On recording day, I wore the shoes that do not hurt me and brought a check. Recording a deed means the county files who owns the property. The title office printed the deed. I signed. The seller signed. The notary stamped. The title officer slid the deed into a bright folder and said, "We'll take this to the recorder." She handed me a receipt with an instrument number on it. "That's the file number for your deed," she said. I wrote the number in my calendar that night in small, steady print. Recorded 412, Instradigue, 2023, on 1847. A week later, a parcel search on the county site showed my name. A parcel search shows the current owner on the county page. I took a screenshot and saved it. I paid the first tax installment that fall, $218. The bill came to me because the file had my name on it. I kept that bill in a blue folder on my shelf. I labeled it with a pen, Lake, Deed and Tax. I didn't talk. I fixed the porch step. I paid a small insurance policy, $41 per month, because houses like to be protected even when empty. I patched the roof after a storm tore a strip. I kept the receipts neat. One photo shows a bent fascia and a silver screw. Another shows a new gutter elbow catching the rain. I wrote the dates in the margin like a person who knows paper is a row of chairs you can sit on when a room shifts. I could have said these things at the table. I did not. I passed the green beans. Halfway through dessert, The brag went from paint to paper. The aunt had a talent for making good things larger than they are. We redid the deed, she said. Took it out of that messy trust my sister had. Put it in our names. That way it's clean, no delays. So much smarter. Last fall, the brother said. Just before the holidays. Last fall? I asked. My hands were steady. The pie was good. You recorded in November? November 2nd, the mother said, proud of a date. I'll never forget it. We went for burgers after. It was raining. That's nice, I said. The recorder keeps public records of who owns property. The date would show there, the father smirked. Oh, it's there, he said. Our name, our date, I looked at my coffee. In November, I had patched the roof at the cottage with a man named Miguel who remembers every ladder he has ever owned. We had laughed when rain blew sideways for 10 minutes and then stopped like a clock that runs on stubbornness. I had paid him $180 and written roof strip on the memo line. I had the receipt. I had the insurance declaration with my name. I had the property tax bill for that cycle with my name and the parcel number blurred. I had the email from the title company confirming the recording on April 12th. And I had the instrument number written in my calendar in my own hand. I put my cup down. Forgive me, I said. I'm slow. I like to check things so I don't tell a wrong story. I smiled at the daughter-in-law's friend who had asked about the recipe. Would someone mind pulling up the county parcel search? I asked the room. Sometimes those sites are finicky on my phone. It's public. It will show the owner field. I kept my tone soft. I put no names on the table. The host, who is fair and likes a solution, reached for his tablet. Which county? He asked. I told him, and I told him the parcel number, which lives in my head because I pay it. He typed, he tapped. The screen glowed blue, then white. He turned the tablet to keep the glare off the glass table. Everyone leaned because people lean when a screen starts telling the truth. The parcel page loaded. He scrolled with 2 fingers the way a careful person moves a picture. He found the field that matters. Owner of record. He read the name out loud. He read my name. No one talked first. The room went gentle, like a hard wind had just moved past a tree, and the leaves remembered how to be still. Then someone's fork clinked. The aunt set down her wine with a wobble and grabbed the stem so it would not tip. The brother made a sound in his throat. The mother's face did a small thing and then a better thing. The father looked down like a man who has been handed a tool he does not know how to use. I think we have a gap between stories, I said. The county file shows the current owner. That is me. The deed was recorded in April of last year. I paid the tax installments for fall and spring. I have those bills in my folder. I am sure you have receipts for your work too. We can lay them side by side if that helps us plan. The aunt tried to stand the old habit up again. She smiled in a way that wanted to keep its teeth. Well, our family has used it, she said. My sister said. The host cleared his throat. He is kind, not fancy. The site shows who owns it, he said. That part is simple. The mother put her hand on her napkin and pinched the edge. We've called it ours, she said in a small voice, because we've been there. We cleaned. We painted. We fixed. She did not look at me when she said it. She looked at the table, and then at her daughter, and then at the door. I appreciate anyone who wipes a baseboard, I said. But a deed is not paint. A deed is the paper the county keeps that says who owns. You can't sell or lease it without the owner's written consent. That's me. I haven't sold it. I haven't signed a lease. I haven't given anyone permission to say otherwise. I kept my voice level. I have learned how to keep it level even when I want to lean too. The father looked up, ready to pick a fight with the first thing that had a face. I did not give him mine. I gave him paper. I reached down and lifted my purse. I had put the blue folder in it before I left my house because I knew my day would be easier if my hand found paper when my ear found noise. I took out 3 pages and slid them across to the host. He is Switzerland in a plaid shirt. Names are redacted, I said. Dates are not. I pointed without tapping. Recorded deed copy, April 12th last year. County recorder receipt, instrument number and stamp. Tax bill, 2 cycles with the parcel number blurred and the amount, $218, visible. I added one more thing from the pocket. Insurance declaration page, I said. Just the first sheet. No account numbers. The paper said my name. It said the parcel number. It said Lake, where the town name would have been if I hadn't taken a pen to it. The host didn't make a speech. He nodded once, like a judge in a small claim that took 12 minutes to hear. He slid the deed copy back, then the receipt, then the tax bill, careful not to crease them. "This looks right," he said. "And the site shows what it shows." The brother put his hands on the table and tried to push an old story forward. "We did the deck," he said. "Sweat equity. That counts." "It counts as a memory," I said. "It doesn't change a deed." I kept the sentence short on purpose. Long talk makes big messes. My daughter-in-law spoke for the first time since the parcel page opened. "Mom," she said to her mother, quiet and urgent. We should not have bragged. She looked at me. "I am sorry," she said. "They thought—" "I know," I said. "A lot of people think deeds are feelings." I let the corner of my mouth move. "They are not." The father tried one more old trick, softer now. "We paid a tax bill," he said. "One time, when the mail was slow." "The bill has my name on it," I said. "If you covered an installment to help, thank you." "A bank letter shows last fall's property tax was paid from my account on 10/16. I can print it if that helps you remember where your help landed." "I am not ungrateful. I am only accurate." The aunt folded her napkin. "You could have told us," she said, small and stung. "I didn't know you needed to hear it," I said. I bought something quiet to keep me steady. If you had asked me about it, I would have said it in a sentence. The mother took a sip of water and set the glass down like it might break. "So what happens now?" she asked, not with drama, but with a tired honesty I recognized in my own bones. "What happens now is simple," I said. "We reset to facts. I own the property. No one stays there or stores anything there without asking me and getting a yes in writing. If you want to visit, you can ask for a date and I will say yes or no based on my schedule. If you want to use it more than a weekend, we can discuss a short lease that protects everyone. Dates, keys, utilities, repairs, quiet hours, insurance. If you want to buy it, I am open to talking. That starts with a fair appraisal by a third party. No pressure, no hurry, no more pretend." The brother opened his mouth to push against one of those options, and then closed it because every option was a door. And people who like to stand in doorways are less brave when the rooms on both sides are lit. My daughter-in-law's mother looked at me and saw me. It happens sometimes when paper moves the air away from a face. "We were proud," she said with no sugar. "We wanted to be a family that had a thing." She took a breath. "We shouldn't have told it like we owned the deed." "Pride is a coat," I said. "It keeps you warm until it sets you on fire." I lifted my purse and slid the folder back in. "I don't need anyone to shrink. I just need the talking to match the file." The host cleared plates little by little. The aunt helped without making it a show. The father excused himself and came back with a face that had adjusted by half an inch. It was enough for a kitchen. On my way to the door, my daughter-in-law walked beside me. "Can I ask you something?" she said, voice low. "Why didn't you tell me you bought it?" "You were planning a wedding," I said. "Then you were learning how to say we without losing I. People drown couples for sport. I wanted to give you time to swim." I put my hand on her shoulder. "And I didn't buy it to be important. I bought it to drink tea near a window. I didn't know your mother had a stage rented," she laughed, "the kind that has eyes in it." "She returns the deposit sometimes," she said. "Sometimes? Then we'll let her," I said. "I won't take her coat. I'll just ask her not to hang it in my closet." At home, I put the blue folder back on the shelf where it lives. I like how it looks between taxes, home, and insurance auto. I made tea and watched the steam make a thin ribbon. My phone buzzed once. A text. My daughter-in-law. "I'm sorry about today. Thank you for being kind. We will follow your rules. Can we talk lease next month?" I typed, "Yes, send 2 dates. We'll start with an appraisal and a short list. Dates, keys, utilities, repairs. In writing, simple." She sent a heart, and then, "I love the porch." I sent, "Me too." Another text arrived later from her mother. I was wrong. "I'm sorry for the brag. Thank you for not shaming me." I wrote, "Thank you for saying that. We'll use the place well if we plan. I will email a simple note." She wrote, "Yes, please." I opened my email and typed 3 short lines, plain as flour and salt. "Lake house, plain plan. Owner of record, me. No sale or lease without my written consent. Visits by request. Email dates. I will confirm yes, no in writing. If lease discussion. We begin with a third-party appraisal. then a draft with dates, keys, utilities, repairs, insurance. We keep it short and kind. I sent it to my daughter-in-law and her parents. I CC'd myself. I printed a copy and placed it at the front of the blue folder. I wrote one more line at the bottom with a pencil. They bragged about a deed, then the file said my name. Not for a frame. For me. To keep humor near paper. 2 days later, an email came from the title company. I had asked for a courtesy copy of the recording confirmation so I could tuck it behind the deed. Attached, please find the stamped copy of the deed recorded 4/12 and the confirmation of indexing, it read. I printed the first page and slid it into a plastic sleeve so coffee would not smudge it. I added a small sticky with the instrument number because it makes my heartbeat quieter to see numbers where they belong. The week after that, a letter arrived from the county. Spring property tax, $218 due, 3/31. I paid it online and printed the confirmation page with my name and the parcel number blurred by my pen and the date 2/14 visible. I put that behind the last tax bill. I added a one-line budget note on a card. Lake, tax $218 paid. Ins 40 Anthaus, roof strip 180, 6/9. Not for anyone's eyes, for mine. I like how a neat stack steadies me. When the appraisal talk began, I kept it human. I emailed 2 local appraisers and asked for quotes. $325 and $300 came back. I chose the second because the woman on the phone sounded like she sits on floors to measure, not on chairs to lecture. I copied the in-laws on a simple note. I will schedule the appraisal for next Thursday at 10. You are welcome to meet us there or wait for the report. The fee is mine. This is a first step only. No pressure. They wrote back the right words. We will wait for the report, the mother said. Thank you. The father added, we can cover half the appraisal fee. Thank you, I wrote, but not needed. I did not want the money to invent a string. We met the appraiser under a sky that had forgotten how to hold rain. She measured without comments. She took photos of the porch and the small kitchen. She liked the new gutter elbow. She did not ask why my name was on the deed. She does not get paid to care about that part. A week later, the report landed, $287,000. Not a fairy tale, not an insult. A number. I printed the summary and sent a copy to the in-laws. We will read, the mother wrote. Thank you. We sat down at my kitchen table with tea and 2 pens. They came with faces that had learned to slow down. The father said, we can't buy right now. He said it like a person who had exhaled for the first time in a month. We thought we had. We didn't. We'll save. Then let's write rules for visits this season, I said. 2 weekends you can use. You'll tell me which ones by email a month ahead. No extra guests without asking. No storage. No changes to anything attached to the house. Leave it clean. Send a text with a photo of the thermostat before you lock the door. The mother nodded. We can do that, she said. She slid a folded paper across the table. It was a check for $218. This is for the spring tax you paid, she said. So your budget doesn't carry our story. Thank you, I said. I already paid it, and I don't need to be made whole, but I appreciate the gesture. I'll put this toward the insurance. It feels fair, she exhaled. The father nodded. He looked at my shoes. He didn't comment on them. Growth comes in strange places. We wrote the visits on a card. June 10th, 12. August 4, 6. We both signed the card like people who know paper matters. Not for a court, for a kitchen. I took a photo of it and added it to the blue folder. I sent the photo in a plain email to them with the subject Lake Visits confirmed, June, August. The daughter-in-law replied with a simple, thank you, that I believed. When I walked them to the door, the father stopped and looked at me as if he had found a new tool and wanted to hand it back. I was proud in the wrong way, he said. I'm sorry for the way I talked at that table. He didn't look at the floor this time. He looked at my face. His voice did not tremble. Thank you for not embarrassing us. I didn't need to embarrass you, I said. The file did the talking. I opened the door. Bring lemons in June. The porch likes lemonade. After they left, I put the card with the dates at the front of the folder. I added a tiny printed map of the county office with a pen line from the door to the recorder's window. Under the line I wrote, Recorder files deeds, public record, bring ID. I don't expect to use it soon. But I like knowing where to stand if I ever need to say a date to a person with a stamp. I boiled water. The kettle made its soft breath. I stood in my small kitchen and thought about that first line at the table. We're so proud of our property, and how quick a room can make you smaller if you let it. I do not mind being called poor by people who use the word to mean not loud. I mind when a deed is told like a story. It turned out simple. They bragged about a deed, then the file said my name. We didn't need to fight. We needed to read. What happens next is not dramatic. It is better than that. They email dates. I confirm. We keep the place clean. We keep the porch light in its socket and change it when it goes out. If they want to buy later, they'll say so and bring a real number, and we'll let paper do what it does. If they don't, we will still laugh on a deck we all respect. I closed the folder. I set it on the shelf. I turned off the porch light and stood for a second in the doorway to watch the night make a quiet shape around the street. My breath went in. My breath went out. The house stayed kind. The deed stayed where it belongs. And my shoes did not hurt me.